Hi, it's Abbey. Welcome back to the channel. It's a battle on the Abbey map, and we're following Gardyy from VidiClan. Tank he's playing is the M4A1 FL10, which is a new tank in the game, and it's just been released in the large loot boxes for the holiday ops. Let's have a quick look at it while he's travelling along. You can see it's got an oscillating turret based on the AMX 12 and 13 series tanks, and it's got the hull of Sherman M4A1. So this was an actual tank that was put together. So it's not a fantasy tank as such. Now it's got a 75mm gun with a 4-shot autoloader, and the average damage per round is 135. So it's actually teamed with a mate who's in the same tank, and yeah, if you've got a combination of 4-shot autoloaders, yeah, that's a pretty dangerous combination. You can make it work, of course. Anyway, so they've basically taken control of the centre part of the Abbey, and using their, let's just switch back to Gardyy's view, using their position to try and control the map. They've got a P43 BIS that was there. Now, I did see Gardyy take a couple of shots at him as he came up, so clearly the shooting on the move, not so good. I guess it's Gardyy's first game, so in this tank, so I'm not sure what he had done with equipment, etc. Now, I also just point out there, 2 tanks on the enemy team are in the cap circle, having not moved. One's got his gun up, which indicates he did connect into the game, but maybe he has disconnected again, and the other one with the gun down looks like he hasn't even loaded into the game. So a bit unfortunate for the enemy team, but nonetheless, that's you've got to take advantage of the situation when you can. So Gardyy's pumping in shots, and his teammate is as well. Just got to be aware of, on this particular position, tanks to your right, you can potentially shoot across, but you can see he's got good cover from the front, shooting through bushes, and he's picking up some spotting damage as well as direct damage. So that disposes of those two, and that puts them up 3-1. Again, just looking at side shots here, but nothing's coming up. So just moving around, trying to figure things out here. So he's not running any special bonus things. You can see there's no food loaded, so he's just using standard view range, and it looks quite reasonable. So I don't have the stats in front of me there, so but he's got good coverage. Potentially he's running optics just to give him that extra bonus, which would be handy in a medium tank. It's also speed-wise, it is based on the Sherman, so it's got some of the characteristics of the general speed over ground that the Sherman does, which means not a high-speed vehicle, but it's slightly more mobile than the Striv M4270, I think it is. Anyway, the Swedish Tier 6 medium tank with an autoloader. Having said that, the Striv has got a slightly higher clip potential because the alpha per shot on the Striv is higher. So that's just something to think about if you're playing it, but I managed to get this tank in the holiday boxes, so I'm going to try it out myself later on. But anyway, here's Gardyy in his first battle. Now, they've noticed a Black Prince has gone up the 891. He's got his mate up in the Abbey middle there with the ability to shoot down. And he's just heading to a spot here, which is a little bit dangerous. That Black Prince is full health, and he doesn't have the clip potential to completely waste the Black Prince. So he's got a spot that he can hide behind rocks. Now this is, okay, this spot here is a little bit dangerous. Can hide your tank, but not completely if that tank keeps coming after you. So he's now got the side on shot of the Black Prince, but Black Prince has got no problem going through his armour. And he's just, put his clip in, which is taking him up to 1400 damage, and he's got 1000 spotting damage, which is good, but it's pretty exposed here now. I think that Black Prince keeps moving around. He's not going to be able to keep his armour out of harm's way. In fact, there comes another shot, but he gets the hit in on the Black Prince and does the ammo rack. Now, unfortunately, at this point, you can see this was actually a disconnection from the game for gardyy, so we're just going to go to the other replay as he loads back in and complete this. Alright, so back to the game now. This is where gardyy reconnected. Black Prince was destroyed just before he disconnected, and now he's heading back to the enemy cap area. There's only 3 tanks left, and just as I say that, the one of the enemy arties has crashed. And they're basically hunting the rest of the tanks, and there goes another arty taken out by his platoon mate, and now they're looking for the Sturomel. So not sure if he'll get much more damage in this game, but he's already just ticked over 2,000 direct damage, and he's got just over 1,000 assisted damage, so a total of 3,000 combined, which is a pretty good total for a tier 6. So we'll just see whether that gives him a good result there, but looks like they think they've covered all the corners. The tanks on the other side have confirmed that the Sturomel is not on their side, so the assumption is now he's hiding back up in near their base. So it looks like a few tanks converging on the cap. Are they going to run out of time? We'll see as he's heading up to his own cap area. So you can see speed not too bad, hitting 50 k's on flat ground, flat and slightly uneven ground, slowing down a little bit to the mid 40s. So looks reasonably manoeuvrable. I think you'd compare this tank to the Striv M42 72, or if that's, can't remember the number there, but the tier 6 Swedish medium tank with an autoloader. That's a little bit more sluggish, but has similar gun characteristics, but probably I think it's better shell damage. So there you go. They spotted the Sturomel, but just as they've done that, the team's capped out. So that's the end of the game. Let's go and look at the results. So that was an Ace Tanker in gardyy's first game in the tank. Managed to do just over 2149 direct damage and 1140 assisted damage. So I think there was a blind shot that connected there based on what we saw in the game. It got the normal battles like Bruiser and Fire Perfector, etc. Let's have a look at the experience. So you got a base experience of 1167. So it probably reflects that, yeah, one of the first few games in that tank on the server, given it's based on performance against the other players in that tank over a week. So 1167, a little bit low for an ace, but nonetheless, I think he was happy to accept that. E25 on the team did slightly more damage and got 2400, so yeah, well done to that player. From the stats, 18 shots fired, 15 connected. There were a couple of shots there at the start that missed and one more. So general overall pretty good accuracy when you're sitting still. 13 of those penetrated. I think he was using pretty much standard rounds all the way through there, and made a reasonable amount of credit as well. So anyway, great game there, gardyy, and thanks for the replay.